subconscious is only a database. It holds, it stores. It's a reservoir of everything. But it is so powerful because it keeps us alive, it keeps our body running, and is part of our nervous system. The conscious mind only has a little part to play. Many times we want to consciously do so many things, but the unconscious is so powerful that it will take over and say, my belief system doesn't agree with this, or my feeling doesn't agree with this. I'm not going to do this. And then the conscious mind gives out.
Yeah. Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to the Art of Being, a sacred space where we dive into spirituality, healing, manifestation, and all the magic of becoming.
We explore what it means to truly live, to grow, to heal, and to be in this ever-evolving dance between our humanness and our higher selves.
I am Bamzi, a mindset and manifestation coach.
And I'm Joy, a wellness coach. We're so glad you're here. Take a deep breath, settle in, and let's journey together.
Welcome back to the Art of Being, beautiful soul. My guest today is a clinical hypnotherapist. She's a healer, she's a teacher. And when I started this podcast, she was on top of my list because she has been fundamental, like in my own transformation. So I've always had her on my list and I've wanted to bring her for the longest time. But I was waiting for the right time, and this is the right time for her to come and have a conversation with me, and I'm so excited. Thank you so much, Kinneri, for joining me.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here today.
Yeah, how are you?
I'm good.
Yes.
And always good to meet you over and over.
Yeah, like when I started, because my aim when I started the podcast is to have this meaningful conversations with people like you. And in fact, when I started, like I had a Excel document, so I started just putting the names down. But it's, sometimes there's always a right time for something, right? And there's a reason I wasn't reaching out. I just had you there. And then this year was like, okay, this is the year. And then that's what I told you last week when I saw you.
So I can see how the universe conspires to do what it needs to do at the time it's meant to be.
Yes. In numerology, I've been into numerology for a while now. There's something called pinnacle years. And so, for example, like the numbers have an energy, right? And whatever, so I'm in my year 3, and the energy of 3 is the energy of like communication, expression, and so it's the right time for me to be having this conversation with you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a year of transformation for sure.
Yes.
Whatever is happening, there is a flow to it, and I definitely feel it.
Yeah. So, Kinneri, you are a clinical hypnotherapist. You are a healer. You do regression therapy. So, but a lot of people don't understand what that is. A lot of people don't know what hypnotherapy is. They don't know what regression therapy is. Can you tell us what that is? And can you, and maybe even before you tell us what that is, can you maybe give us a little bit of background into your story and what brought you to do this type of work?
Then this story starts from my own issues, basically.
Right.
I was going through a lot in my life, and I had no idea why. My physical health was going down very fast. Emotionally, I was a wreck. I was into the corporate world, and the corporate world wasn't bad. It was good. I just wasn't handling myself. That was the problem. And I had no idea why this was happening to me. So one fine day, I just woke up and I said, I'm resigning because I can't take it anymore. And then I went on a journey of self-discovery. It was quite interesting because the only thing I was trying to say is I want to find me because I don't know who I am. And I started with counseling psychology.
Yes.
It was good. I cannot say it was nothing. It was good. It helped me map out, actually. The first things that we do in counseling psychology is kind of understand your story, your river, what they call is your river of life. And then there are key moments and key events that have shaped who you are and your behavior. So I understood that. And one of the key moments that I came across was my sister's death. I had my youngest sister. She was 7 years old, and she had a motorbike accident, as in somebody knocked her down, and she died. That trauma was too great for me to bear. But consciously, I couldn't figure out that was a pivotal moment in my life that had changed everything.
How old
so
were you?
I was only 18 at that time. So she was like a little baby to me, and it's a long story. But in counseling psychology, I did come across that event. I just didn't pinpoint it that it was the event that had changed my life in many ways, like the conflict and the inner turmoil that I was going through. So I finished. It was around the time of the Westgate attacks. I started working a little bit, thinking that as I'm studying, I can do something. I worked with a couple of people who had PTSD from the Westgate attack, but I couldn't really help them go deeper into the PTSD and the trauma.
Right.
So I thought, no, maybe something else. I need to do something else to figure out how I can help people further. And while I was helping them, I was definitely helping myself as well, understand something.
Yes.
And then somebody suggested, why don't you try neuro-linguistic programming? And I did that as well, because I was searching for something deeper, with deeper meaning. And I worked as well. I practiced neuro-linguistic programming. And my point of interest was the subconscious. Something in me was churning there, that there is an answer that I'm not getting. In the meanwhile, this whole world of self-help had also emerged. And there were so many books about the subconscious, the power of the subconscious mind, Bruce Lipton's beliefs. I mean, I've read and read and read and read. Like literally, I could have exhausted so much. But I couldn't get the answer that I was looking for. There was a lot of guidance. There were a lot of methods to address things, but I wasn't settling with that. So something still was churning in me that there's an answer out there that I need to get.
Yeah.
And I had gone for past life regression all the way to India. I wanted to learn something. And, you know, that's the time I had started reading this Brian Weiss's books.
Journey of Souls?
I had read all his books, and I started with this one. Is it One Soul, Many Lives?
I only know the Journey of Souls.
Yeah. There are quite a few. And that intrigued me, that is there an answer in the past that is affecting my present?
Right.
And so I did go for past life regression as well. Somewhere it was useful, but still something hadn't been addressed in me. And many lives, many masters. That's what I started with. Okay. Yeah. And something was churning. And so I was searching, and I actually had reached out to my institution today, but that was way back then. I'm talking of way back in 2010, 2011.
The institute that you work with. Okay, right.
And they say that they do courses, but not based in one city. I am a Kenyan. I'm not from India, so I have no idea of India. It's like, I can't travel to cities where I have no clue. So I shelved that idea a bit and just kind of was anyway on this self-discovery journey. One fine day, how the universe conspired, I have no clue. And you know, we have this magazine, Asian Weekly. I was just browsing through it, and I come across a whole big page saying hypnotherapy happening in Nairobi. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
This is exactly, I have no clue how, but I knew this is what I was looking for.
Yeah.
So I told my husband, I said, I need to go. And he goes, we just traveled. We don't have so much money. How are you going to spend so much money? I'm like, let me just go for this weekend. It's just 2 days weekend, and then we shall see what happens. I land there. The first half day, and I knew I had found what I wanted. Like I was just there and I knew. And the reason I knew is when I understood how the mind works, so many answers started kind of falling in place. Because when he talked of what the subconscious mind is and how it operates and how it affects our life,
Yes.
I knew this is where I found my answer. My behavior, my emotions, my conflict, all this is now making sense to me. And then I continued. I said, I'm not stopping. And this curriculum has 5 levels, and I decided I'm doing it. And during those one of the levels, I was a demo, because these are huge techniques that help you access the subconscious mind.
Yes.
And definitely I realized how much I had repressed. And there was no conscious way of knowing what it was.
Yes.
My body was affected, my mind was affected, my emotions were affected, everything.
Yes.
So I knew I had to get an answer. And when I went through one of the sessions as a demo, I was pretty kind of there, but I didn't know I was in such an altered state, because I was aware. But something got triggered. And like I said in my counseling psychology, I had touched a little bit about the death of my sister. Now this came flooding back to me. This time it was emotional. The trauma that I'd held within me, but I had no idea how it had impacted me.
Yeah.
It shook me that day.
Yeah.
But after that, the sense of peace I started getting was something I've never experienced.
Yeah.
And I knew there is some answer here.
Yeah.
So I continued and I qualified. I learned a lot about how the subconscious works and how we can help people overcome their innermost traumas. And that was important. So I qualified, and then I went into learning regression therapy. Regression therapy is another way of understanding consciousness. Energy, consciousness, emotions, and personality. But their techniques are slightly different. That's all. We are regressing people back into the origin of the problem. Where hypnotherapy does the same thing, but in a slightly different way. And I began practicing. The confidence that I got, I knew this is what I'm going to do forever.
Yeah.
So here I am. And then after that, I started training. I qualified as a trainer as well, because I knew this knowledge is so important. People need to know.
Yeah.
I believe and I know from the bottom of my heart that everybody should know how their mind works, so that they know how their life works.
Yeah. Oh my God. Thank you so much
Yeah.
for that amazing story. Yeah. I mean, of course, you and I have interacted several times, so
Yeah.
I know I've heard some of it. But for people that don't understand how these things work and what's driving them, I think it's important to hear from somebody like you who's healing, but who also had to heal herself first in order for you to see like the power of working on the subconscious level. And when you were mentioning when you were being used as a demo and what came when you went into the subconscious and the release that you had, it's the same exact release that I had when I came to see you.
Absolutely.
Because whenever I was going through and I would tell people, right? I would tell like, oh, this happened when I was a child. But I would speak of it as a matter of fact, as if like there's no emotion. Like the way that it's like, because I'm the adult me saying it,
Correct.
right? But when you put me under, and at the time I thought it was hypnotherapy, but it was child regression that you did with me. And I don't know if you remember the release that I had. I was even shocked. I was shocked that oh my God, I didn't realize how heavily that emotion was stored. Like my inner child was still carrying that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This is what happens. So consciously we know. We are aware that something happened to us. But we're not in touch with that because we're trying to be in the conscious mind. And what's happening in the background, we have no idea. Yet it affects us so deeply. When you talk of inner child, see, when you had the trauma, that child in you gets frozen in time.
Yes.
Because it's very, very frightening. You don't feel that safety. And when child doesn't feel safe, they already lock themselves or shut down or run away because they cannot usually fight.
Right.
So you grow up, but that part of you doesn't grow up.
Yeah.
And then it keeps triggering you because it's so deeply hidden and repressed. But the emotion is there. And the emotion is in your body. It's not anywhere else. It's in your inner mind as well as your body, because the mind and body are connected. So whatever the mind holds, the body also.
Yes.
It's almost like the body remembers more, while the mind with time will have forgotten. Like you said, you've grown up and you know it, but it's in the past. Yet the body doesn't forget because it is stored there.
Yeah. So actually, let's talk about how some of this shows up, and how people are triggered. They don't understand. You show up as not the best version of yourself, right? And this is something you talk about. You wonder, like, why did I react like that? You just like it's like you were out of your mind when you were reacting to something because it's being driven by trauma. Can we talk about that? Like, how can people start to become aware that they're just being driven by their wounds and something that happened to them?
See, emotional wounds will manifest in many ways, whether it's in physical illnesses or physical issues or behavior issues, and even emotional outbursts. So it all starts with our emotions and what we haven't addressed. Children cannot maybe address, like children who are in their formative years, they don't have a filter to understand life as such. So anything that they feel threatening, traumatic, and children do go through that. Something small like, I get many of those, and maybe an example will kind of make sense. Something small like a child is in the home playing, and suddenly the parents are fighting, so the child hears. And this happens to many people, that parents are arguing, and then argument may turn into something more violent or shouting or even physical violence. And the child is just watching. From a very calm, quiet child, it starts feeling very frightened, like what has just happened.
Yeah.
And the threat almost feels like it's the child's own. Even if it's not, the adult knows, but the child doesn't know.
Yeah.
So it feels so threatened that it almost wants to either run away or be very frightened. Now, how does the child handle it? It has no way to. It has felt an emotion. Maybe in that moment it might even have felt angry, that like wants to tell the parents, just stop, don't do this. But it can't.
Yeah.
So it internalizes it. And when the child internalizes it, it means their feelings are locked inside of them. Now they are already threatened. Their nervous system is on high alert. They will have to try to find safety. How will they do it?
Yes.
By coping with situations, like they become one survival mechanism. So every time they want to avoid a threat, what will they do? Either they'll become people pleasers, or they'll become quiet, or they'll run away, or anything that they do, right?
Yes.
Now this becomes a behavior because the nervous system is on a high alert. It cannot relax. And the nervous system is part of our primitive mind that keeps us safe. If we didn't have that, we would be dead, all of us. So our nervous system keeps us safe. It's on high alert because it wants safety.
Yes.
Now we grow up, but that nervous system hasn't understood to relax. What will it do? So this is how it shows up in behavior.
Yes.
So anytime something feels threatening, that part of our mind is already on alert. And this is what I see all the time.
Yes.
And then the moment we go back in therapy to regress them from the adult space to understand, like when I help you say, okay, from this perspective, see what you didn't understand as a child. And then many times I've heard people say by themselves, when they see it, oh, it wasn't my fault. Now the body relaxes and the nervous system relaxes, and they're able to release the emotional stress that they carried.
Yes. Yeah.
This is the whole purpose of healing, that what was then that held you captive, you need to release it.
Yeah, that's so wonderful. I think like something we perceive as a threat it's you feel like you're really being threatened when like really there's nothing.
There's
like
nothing.
you're really safe. Like there's nothing threatening you. And this is something that we explored together when I took the course with you. And so that was so illuminating for me because my biggest pattern used to be, is it called freeze? When like if you did something that I interpreted as threatening. So for example, like I really feel deeply hurt by you, by whatever you did. What I would do is I would slowly withdraw. Like I wouldn't address the conflict. I wouldn't have a conversation address the conflict. I would withdraw, right? Because I just go quiet. And it's not until like I did deep work that I started to understand how much weight I was carrying and how much resentment I was holding because I'm not addressing the issue. Like I felt threatened, I withdrew. And then somebody else threatened me, I withdrew. So I'm just carrying all of this in my body and in my system.
Correct.
And when I did the work, then I started to let go. So can you talk about like how you work with people to understand, how this is impacting them and how they're showing up, like in their work, because people react in traffic, for example. People react with their spouses when like they're fighting about something, but it's not about that thing, right? Somebody's responding from their wound.
We are very emotionally triggered anyway. But what you said about things like traffic as well, in a way, we are all hypnotized. Because we can't handle our life. And what we are triggered with is what is coming from the inner mind. Maybe just an analogy of, what do we understand about the mind, first of all? Why are we the way we are? We work consciously. It's very easy for us to, live our life from the time we wake up in the morning to the time we go to sleep. It's pretty much a run, do work, do everything. But it's conscious. Now, when something happens in between, say we're at the office and there's maybe a conflict or a disagreement or something, somebody feels. Now, what do they do with the feeling? That conscious mind has no clue what to do with it. Now, they stay with it until they go home at night and they sleep with it, right? So the emotion, where does it disappear? No. It hasn't been addressed. It'll find a place. So the conscious mind is only like just about 10% of what we know of literally who we are. The rest is the 90%, the subconscious. And this is who we are. Subconscious is not separate from us. This is who we are. This is the part of us that keeps us alive, that keeps our system, our body running. And this is the most important part. And it's also part of the nervous system. So any time there is something that is not sitting well, the nervous system is not relaxed. Ideally, the nervous system should be, there is a threat. We resolve the threat, we go back to balance, normalcy, homeostasis. But it never happens. It's like these days everything is on high alert. So imagine how much we are living in that threat and subconscious mind rather than in the conscious balanced state. So we are actually hypnotized all the time. What we call hypnosis. Hypnosis is nothing but being in a state where you are only bypassing the conscious filter and you are in that moment of fight or flight all the time. So then you're not relaxing, you are. So these triggers that we see, like anything just triggers us. Where are we actually stationed? In our subconscious. We are threatened. And that's why we say mindful practices help, because we are calming our nervous system down. Otherwise, we are not. Meditation helps, breath work. So we are actually helping the nervous system. If we don't, this is pretty much going to just continue. That is why it's so important to understand our mind. This is the part of us that is, it's a database. Subconscious has no, it's not a, what do you call it? It's not anything that we can tangibly see. But it's a database of everything that we experience, we feel, and we store in that. Like how we say, if I give you an example of a computer, our brain is the hardware, it's not the mind. The mind is all around, it's an energy. But we cannot tangibly talk about the mind. We talk about the brain. So the brain is the hardware. The mind is the software. Now, the hardware, being a computer, cannot work. We need a software to operate it, an operating system to run it. Now, if this operating system has viruses, what will it do? It will corrupt the system.
Yeah.
If the software is good and is working well, then the computer will work well.
Yeah.
That's how it is with our brain and body.
Yes.
So if our system is functioning well, we are balanced, we are safe, then we'll function. Even through challenges, we'll address them well. But if there is any corruption, emotional corruption, it will corrupt our system. And then we are going that route.
Yeah.
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 So that is why people are like, and I was one of them, I used to ask, and this is the one question I asked. Why is this happening to me?
Yeah.
Why don't I have an answer to this?
Yeah.
And when I understood where it is all stored, and I know that I can access it because it's part of me, I just don't know how to, like consciously.
Yeah.
So then how do we do it? Through hypnosis.
Yes.
That's the key.
I feel like what's hard is because from what I understand and from your teachings as well is that the conscious mind, how old does it start forming? Because your subconscious, you've always had it since you were in the womb, right?
Yeah.
But the conscious mind, when does it start forming?
In the formative years, like when you're born, it starts forming.
conscious mind.
Because as a child, you don't even have cognitive abilities.
Yes, because baby doesn't have thoughts.
That's why you see, if you see babies, like they'll laugh for no rhyme or reason.
Oh, they'll stare at you. They're staring.
Like, yeah. Well, when you actually look into their eyes, you feel like you're looking beyond
Yes.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So where are they actually?
Yeah.
They are in their inner mind.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the conscious mind starts forming once you're born.
Okay. Okay.
Before that, you are a feeling person. You feel because you don't know, you have no cognitive ability to understand. And this is where actually a lot of issues also stem from the mother's womb.
Oh, yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about because I think the struggle is that the way, and first of all, like if you don't remember anything happening, that you don't remember anything happening to you, right? So some of the trauma that you have was actually inherited, like you inherited from your mom. You don't remember anything happening to you. So you walk throughout your life feeling like, I don't remember anything happening to me, then why am I like this? Why do I feel like this? Because I had a good childhood. Then how can people then start to understand that trauma isn't necessarily, sometimes it's not even yours. Whatever you need to process is not even yours. It's something that you inherited from your mom. I feel like that's what was so mind-blowing to me. I feel like that's so hard for some people to conceptualize even. Yeah.
I can give you my example. Actually, it was very life-changing for me. I always used to feel, no matter what I do, I can't breathe beyond here. Literally. If I start taking deep breaths, my body would pain. Like I have felt this always. And I didn't know why. And one of the regressions we did, I went back into my mother's womb.
Oh, okay.
And it was quite funny because I'm not a person who sees a lot, I feel. So
Yes.
I went with the feeling, and the feeling emerged. Physically, I could not breathe then as I was in the regression. I couldn't breathe. I was struggling, like, it was almost like, and I didn't know what was happening. And I realized when I was being born, when my mom was in labor, she was very anxious. And she didn't know she wasn't breathing as well. So the oxygen that should have been passed to me wasn't. I was also struggling to breathe. And that stayed with me. And this is how it manifests. The day I release that, honestly, I can breathe so much better.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Because, I mean, I know that I have some of that. Like, I have an inkling that there's some of that I need to release. Like, inherited trauma.
Yeah.
I mean, some of it actually I've processed. I went through, and I told you, I went through a dark period for like, even now I still consider that I'm in the void of like the dark night, whatever. But when I first met you, I was in the thick of it. And 2 years before that is when I was going through the darkest. I was processing a lot of pain because, you know, I used to escape a lot. I was so disconnected. I used to escape my emotions. It wasn't safe for me. And so then I was put in a position where the universe was like, it's time now for you to process all of this. So I was holding so much. But at some point, you know, I was crying every single day, right? And I'm releasing a lot. At some point, I was like, I feel like some of this pain is not even mine. It feels like I don't think all of this pain is mine. It was just like a lot. I was like, there's no way. Some of this is like ancestral, like inherited.
I get that. Because we inherit even from our ancestors. Imagine, I mean, we've done this. This is not a joke. When anything happening in our ancestors, like maybe somebody died miserably, and they may have had something that was not finished. Now you're the lineage. They have maybe lived a life of misery or something unfinished, something. Now they are living. They are producing. They have children. Now the cells are flowing with that. Now you're part of that lineage. So when they have not finished and they are miserable inside, you will carry that.
That's not easy to
beliefs. I mean, strong beliefs come from ancestors as well, and I know that. I was not doing regression, but I was just pondering on my lineage as well, like in meditations. And one moment I've come back to 5 generations. Like literally, I can give you a way I felt it. That in my womb, I was holding 5 generations.
That's heavy.
That physically in my womb, I felt it, Bamzi.
Oh my gosh.
So imagine the beliefs and their issues I've carried. And the day I release, then I can breathe to be me. Before that, unconsciously, it is controlling me somewhere. Through their beliefs, through their issues, through their emotions, whatever it is. Yeah. And I felt it. And the thing that actually held me there was a lot of guilt. And I felt it completely, that I'm holding guilt that is not mine. And that guilt keeps replaying in my life in so many areas. Like, sometimes I wonder, like, why should I feel guilty? But why am I? Where's the answer? And that we hold in our cell memory because we are part of it.
Some of that sounds so overwhelming for somebody. Like, how do they even begin? And I'm just thinking, I feel like the reason why people feel powerless and you're just like, they don't take responsibility because some of this is so heavy. And you're just like, I'm just not gonna do anything, right? Because how do you start to take responsibility for all of that trauma, all of those emotions, and process them yourself? You know, I don't know if you've encountered cases where somebody's like, why should I be the one who's to do all of this or to process this? And
when as an adult we say that, why should we do it?
Right.
The origin is always the child who wants to run away.
Yes.
And I say it's not just the child. We don't understand our lives. A child has come into this world to fulfill something. And then something happens in their childhood that takes away that purpose or that whatever the reason they're here. And then we carry on living with our coping strategies and coping mechanisms. We take away the purpose. One of the things is we've come here for a reason. And now we say we're not going to do anything. Was that part of your life plan? If we don't understand that, then we're going to keep repeating those things over and over until we learn. So this is the reason subconscious, deep work is needed to understand, what are you here for? And if anything happened, was it part of your life plan or something happened?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
And you understand that means you don't just keep quiet.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, when we die, we're going to
Yeah.
regret it. We're going
Yeah.
to feel that pain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like one of the amazing things of going into deep into the subconscious is coming to their understanding that we have all the answers within us.
Yeah.
And that was when we did child regression. You kept asking me like, why was it you, or I don't know if you remember. And for some reason I had like the answer, something that I in my conscious mind I had never thought of or even like understood, because I always wondered like, why me, why like, why was I the one? But I had the answer when I was under in regression. You kept asking me and I was like, it was like a light bulb moment. And I think it was shocking to me, that the subconscious has that information, that it was part of my plan, right? It's part of my soul contract that I had to go through this experience. And I found that so interesting and so amazing. And that is why I just now wanted to dive into the subconscious. What is the subconscious? I feel like we've alluded to the subconscious. You've mentioned it several times, but now like I actually now want to focus on that. Like, what is even the subconscious mind for somebody who does not know what that is?
Like I said, the mind is energy.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a software program running the brain and the body. The mind is a very important part. We cannot do anything without the mind. So this conscious is only 10%, and the rest is below the sea, the iceberg that is there, but controlling the whole system. Subconscious is only a database. It holds, it stores. It's a reservoir of everything. But it is so powerful because it keeps us alive, it keeps our body running, and it's part of our nervous system. And that's the most important. And then we have a part of our mind which also holds the evolutionary stories. We don't know, like, where we come from, where we begin, or where we're going to end. But it has a database. We can access it, but it's a silent part of us. It's always there. We are just so conditioned not to go there. And this is where we touch, like, how babies are pretty much so trusting and so much in touch with themselves. They're not in their conscious mind. This is the real thing. When we meditate, when we do breath work, when we do yoga, when we do all these mindful practices, we are accessing and coming in touch with that part that is so silent, but it's the most powerful. And because it holds our feelings, this is where they get triggered. Whatever is not resolved means it is still there. It is controlling us. And it's the world's biggest duplicating machine. Whatever we have not addressed will manifest. It's almost trying to get attention. That deal with this. If you don't, then you are going to encounter many more experiences that will keep on talking about the same thing. Like if we have anger issues and it's repressed, we don't know why we get angry. Can you see how many situations in our life will only keep making us angry? Now, where is that getting triggered from? That part of us. Now, when we say mind, and it's invisible, it's energy, where is the whole story stored in our body? When we feel, say, angry and we have rage, our body will feel it. If we feel very angry, maybe in the heart or gut or something will happen that will be hot or, like tight or tension or something will happen. And that is the mind's way of telling us this is where you have not addressed things. That is the subconscious. It's not something we can talk about like a program. Software program is an encoding. This is an encoding as well. But it is an encoding that controls our life. Now, conscious mind is there. We need that because that's our language. Subconscious has no language. Its language is feelings and visuals and metaphors. It's trying to give us a message, basically. But the conscious mind is where we give it language. Like I say, if I'm hurt, then who is hurt? What is hurt?
Right.
The hurt is coming from the hurt is a feeling. Now, who's giving it that language? Is the conscious mind. So
Yes.
they work in tandem. It's the whole mind. But the conscious mind only has a little part to play. Many times we want to consciously do so many things, but the
Yes.
unconscious is so powerful that it will take over and say, my belief system doesn't agree with this, or my feeling doesn't agree with this. I'm not going to do this. And then the conscious mind gives up.
Yeah.
Why does this happen? Because we are not in alignment.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
H-
then
how
it-
can we create that alignment, like that
Again,
coherence? Yeah.
Again, by this is hypnotherapy. We're trying to align the conscious mind to the subconscious mind so that we can actually manifest our desired outcome. Otherwise, it will not happen. And that's why I had a great job. Why wasn't I settling with it? Why was I fighting against it? Because the conflict was inside. The moment I overcame a conflict, I was more settled. I was able to see the way ahead.
Yeah.
That is how it is.
Yes.
People, in fact, I get testimonials from clients as well. Like, says one of them wanted to start a business. She was very clever, educated, but for the life of her could not do anything because what she was fighting was herself and her lack of confidence. We did only maybe 2-3 sessions. And then I got a message after 3-4 months. Thank you so much. I now have the courage to take a step into my life. She started an online program which she could not. She's moved into a different home. Like, this was not happening because she was only fighting herself. Like you say, running away from addressing. So her conscious mind wanted that I want a life. I know my plan, but why can't I get to it?
Yeah.
So addressing that which stopped her was her emotions.
Yes.
The
Absolutely.
moment that she understood why this had happened to her, why she was feeling the way she was, it's done.
Yes.
And it took a while, of course. The brain neural pathways need to also change for the new choice to be made because we've resolved something. It doesn't play a role, which means the brain has to also change through that. It takes a while, but the moment she changed, her whole energy changed. Her mind changed, her energy changed.
Yes. Yeah.
So she was already manifesting something she always wanted.
Yeah.
This is how it is.
Yeah. Oh, that's so beautiful. And I've
Yeah.
definitely seen it in my own life.
Yeah.
You know, and I wasn't doing some of this. I didn't know that I was addressing things on the subconscious level, but what I was doing is just releasing the emotional blockages. Because for the longest time, like I said, I was just escaping. I was disconnected from my body. But as I've reconnected and been in touch with my emotions, making sure that I'm there for them and release them, what I've realized that a lot of the conflict that used to happen, I don't have internal conflict.
Yeah.
Like these days, yes, of course, there are issues. There are things that come up, of course, that, you have to be aware of the thought and all of that. But most of the conflict is not there. And that is hugely due to the release of the emotions. Yeah. And I feel like a lot of people just are afraid to get to that emotional level because they're afraid to hold that pain and be with it. Why is that?
People don't know that there is a way you can address it. And we're afraid because we think that if we open up or something, we'll be judged. Most people run away because they don't want to be judged also. No, in a therapeutic space, nobody judges you. And so it's easy. People come, they come very guarded. But once they understand, once they start sharing and understanding, they soften up a bit. The moment you soften up, it's done. I mean, I had somebody recently, she was talking all sorts of stories and not getting to the point. And sometimes the mind also doesn't want to show because you're not ready, kind of a thing. So
Right.
there's a lot of stories, maybe this way, maybe that way. So my job is basically to streamline or, to center that, okay, there's too many things happening. Come back into the present moment because the present body holds something. Like if you came to me, we cannot start that something happened to your past. The past has its roots, but I will start today. How are you today? What's happening to you now?
Right. Yes. Yes. Yes.
And when something's happening to you now, it tells you a story.
Yes.
It's held in the body.
Yes.
Sometimes we don't have to know the answer in the past. It's right now. Let's talk about now. Something happened. I'll give you an example. I was talking about this lady. She has all sorts of stories, but she had a lot of physical manifestations of health issues. Inner conflict creating headaches. And not migraines, but just headaches, tension headaches. And she had started getting immunity issues, like low immunity, which means she was falling sick, sinuses. So there is a reason. When I see certain things, of course, we are taught in the hypnotherapy courses that when body has an issue, there is an emotional component to it. So I just address that emotion, like, are you feeling very conflicted? Maybe you want to address something that you're not addressing? And that clicked. Just that question. You're not addressing something you want to? And she said, I cannot live my life. That was her thing. So I asked her, I said, why not? And she says, she has a cousin who keeps encroaching her space, but she can't tell her cousin no. It's not that they're not close. It's not that they don't want to be together. But sometimes you need boundary. So all this kept on piling, and she couldn't tell her that sometimes just leave me alone.
Yeah.
And unknowingly, the cousin is draining her because she doesn't want to be there. So just one question, in the here and now, we're not going back wherever it started. Something happens and it takes over.
Yeah.
And now it manifests as health issues because now I can't make a decision I want to. I can't have my boundary and I can't say no.
Yeah.
Just that much was a light bulb.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. That's so amazing, because I think that's what some people don't understand, the connection between the mind and the body. Like some of the emotions can cause like health issues. You know, I've had people give stories of like they had asthmatic issues, or they had like things with their womb, and then once they address like an emotion pattern, they release that, and suddenly they're like breathing normally.
This is what I'm saying when I was breathing here.
Oh, right. Yes.
So people get congenital issues as well because of that. There are children who have had congenital issues. I had somebody who had allergy of eggs. I could not eat eggs. I mean, this is an adult who had come to me. No, the adult had a child who had, the adult had a child who had issues with eggs.
Okay.
Now, when we are vegetarians, where else do we get protein? So the child had developed, and so now imagine eating cakes or anything, biscuits, and we have to be so careful that there are no eggs. The moment the guy would eat eggs, he immediately had a reaction in the body. Now, this is a child. I'm talking of maybe a little child. So the mother had come to me like, what do I do with it? I had to understand her pattern, her pregnancy, whatever. And when we understood that, the doctor had told her to eat protein. And the only way the child will get protein is through eggs. Because we don't get so much protein being vegetarians.
Yeah.
She eats protein. She eats the eggs for the sake of the child, hating it. And the child is connecting to that feeling. My mother is eating for me and she hates it. It's the feeling. Now he has closed that I will not be accepting eggs.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Okay, so you had to work with the child, or had to work with both of them? You worked with them
through the mother because it was hers. So we cannot work with children. Children don't
Oh, yeah,
have a
yeah,
filter,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So, so I worked with the mother to just understand, and we were able to actually energetically heal the child as well
Without touching the
without touching the child.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I don't know if the child eats eggs. I'm not sure about that, but the mother got clarity.
Okay. Wow. Oh my God, that's so wonderful.
Yeah.
And so I actually now wanted to talk about there's something called big trauma versus small trauma, or something like that, where people are like, oh, that was not traumatic, or like people don't think of something as trauma, right? If you grew up in like a normal whatever, where you were provided for, like physically you were taken care of, but maybe you were emotionally abandoned, where like something didn't happen to you, but of course, like as a child, you know, you
Yeah.
felt the lack of love or whatever, but like you didn't perceive as like, of course your mother didn't hate you, they didn't abandon you, so you don't think of it as having experienced trauma, right? I don't know if you encountered some of those cases.
Lots.
Because I found people that are like, yeah, I don't think I ever went through anything. And I'm like, are you sure? I mean, you know, are you sure? Like, you never experienced anything, even if it's like very small.
No, children perceive things very in their own fashion.
Yeah.
Like two children in the same household will have perceived things very differently.
Yes.
One will have been affected, the other one no.
Mm.
Yet they'll be seen in their behavior, like how they behave, how they grow up. It will be seen.
Mm-hmm.
Even in a household that's fine,
Mm-hmm.
something will have happened because it's the perception of the child. Now that perception can also come from other things like how the mom was pregnant, her emotional state with the first child versus the second child, or beyond, we don't know. And even how they feel treated then will affect them. So yes, you don't have to see trauma in the bigger form, like explicit,
Like, yes.
but this is silent trauma, emotional trauma. How both their parents, maybe mother, father, how they treat. And I see that in many things because I don't know if maybe even in the African culture it's there, but I see that in our culture many times where, say, a boy and a girl is born. And the girl is made to bow down to the boy, yet the boy is younger because boys are given more preference.
Yeah.
That is already trauma in itself.
Yeah.
The elder one having held more expectations from the parents than the younger one. So the younger one is more favored, like more maybe softly tended to than the elder one. And the elder one is expected to do more than the younger one. This is trauma in itself. It happens a lot. Something like, I know of people who do that. And when the father comes, the mother tells the daughter, can you make a cup of tea? But if the daughter wants to have a cup of tea, who's going to help her? So in her mind, what's going on? Who am I? So that behavior that starts getting created from there is coming from there. Who am I? So my belief system about me is, am I unworthy? Am I not good enough? Am I inferior?
Yeah.
And then the relationships start building from there. How do I relate to my brother, my father, my mother?
Yeah.
So trauma doesn't have to be actual trauma that happens, but there is silent things happening in the background.
Yeah. Always, because
I see that a lot.
Yeah.
There's something very interesting I've come across. In maybe, I don't know, is it worldwide but I know Indian families, and I know clients have come to me where they're writing with the left hand, and it is culturally unaccepted.
You're bitten. Like I have stories where like you start writing with your left hand, you're being corrected to change it to the right. It's very common in the African culture.
Yeah, so I've seen that. Like I know of a person who is, who was a lefty, but was told to shift to the right because it's not accepted. You're forced, not by beating, but by actually imposing in a way.
Yes.
But that doesn't come out as trauma, but it's almost like the child feels like I've really done something wrong because I'm not
Yes.
accepted.
Mm-hmm.
So those are silent ways of trauma.
Oh, that's an
Yeah.
interpretation of like I'm not
Yeah.
accepted. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
So there are things that happen in the background that create that. So we don't tend to call it trauma, but somewhere it has impacted you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Like some of it goes so deep
Mm.
that in my own journey makes me, I get very emotional
Yeah.
when I talk about it. But, some of the things that I've had to address through, my own just tapping or just meditations or like just sitting with some of those like core wounds, that some of it, it's not because something happened, but it's because some of the beliefs that you said that we
Yeah.
carry like generationally, and because of course I don't, my conscious mind doesn't remember experiencing any of this, but some of the ways, like for example, and I don't mind talking about this. So for example, you know how we're conditioned to, to get our value and our worthiness from like doing something, right? From achieving, doing something, whatever. That is an example of like one of the biggest wounds that I've had to deal with of, I have to be achieving or going after something in order for me to feel worthy, right? Because there's a core wound that formed when I was a child, that maybe formed even in the womb, that, I'm not worthy, or like I don't matter, for example. Like that is like, I think something that a lot of people deal with. And some of those like are so heavy, right? And I don't know, like if that's something you address with people.
I do.
Like, mm-hmm.
I do.
Mm-hmm.
What you said is very important because maybe your mother was pushed into something like that if I'm not a doer, if I don't achieve something, then my worthiness and my value doesn't matter. And many people go through that. So what she felt will also impact you. Now, silently, it will create the energy in you, and you will find yourself in experiences around. So, speaking of that, in the household, you're conditioned that when you pass this, when you achieve this, when you do this, this is how we see you. This is how you are to us. Now, that already your energy may have been created, but this reinforces this conditioning. Now, you grow up and you also feel frightened in a way that if I don't do this, then I'm not valued. If I don't do this, and my worthiness is not there. And it's not worthiness only outside, we feel it inside.
Yes. Yes.
And so then we create our behavior through that I have to be a high achiever,
Yes.
or I have to be the best in whatever I do. Now, if I am not, then the opposite goes, I'm a failure. Imagine the impact of that. I don't want to be a failure, so I'm going towards achievement. You will maybe drive yourself there literally and, to that, and tire yourself, exhaust yourself because you are really running towards that.
Yeah.
Maybe you feel happy. But how many people have come to me when they are high achievers, they have everything you can ask for, but there is an emptiness.
Yes. Yes.
Because we haven't been made to feel that you are okay the way you are.
Yes.
We
Yes.
love you the way you are.
Yes.
You are safe with us the way you are. So then
Yes. Yeah.
there is that core wound. And then we forget. We actually abandon ourselves because of that. We don't know.
Yeah.
How we see and perceive the world outside of us as children becomes
Yeah.
who we become.
Yeah. Oh, I think that will resonate with a lot of people because how many people are going after things, chasing after things, whether they're like relationships, their jobs, their positions, because they think it's going to bring them something that the emptiness to cover the emptiness. And that, I'm speaking from experience, having worked through a lot of that, of course, I'm still on the journey of like, understanding my inherent worthiness, because it's of course a journey, but there's so many people that is like they're struggling. They're just like, oh, if I get that thing, if I get that thing, if I get that thing, not understanding that like none of that is just going to change.
None of that is going to change, because how much are you going to run? At the end of the day, we fall sick because we haven't emotionally connected to ourselves. We forget that while we are doing all this, we are also emotional. Emotions will rise in us. What are we still doing with it? Nothing.
Yeah.
We repress it, put it at the back,
Yeah.
and we carry on.
Yeah.
I have people who say that I get angry. I don't deal with it. It's in the moment. Now move on. It's
Yes.
done and over with.
Yeah.
Where has that gone?
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
There are people who have built walls around themselves that I cannot because it's too painful. Now they are running away from their pain, but their pain will catch up one day.
Yeah.
Even though we have everything, I do get people who are successful and everything, but deep down there is that core wound that I was emotionally neglected. I was not made to feel worthy. I was not loved the way love should have been expressed to me. Love was also conditional. If you are this way, only then I'll love you.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. That's
And they carry that.
Yeah.
So it's important to understand wherever we are we really happy? Is this the purpose of our life? Or is it something that I need to look into? Yeah.
Yeah. Let's talk about your work, like specifically hypnotherapy, because you know what? I've had conversations with people who are scared to go under hypnosis, and and you know, I understand some of it. It's because sometimes the way it's been portrayed, it's like there's a tea that you're given to drink, and there's like maybe something like a little bell, and then like you go unconscious, and then somebody goes into your mind. There are like a lot of misconceptions that people have about hypnotherapy. They don't understand, how it works. Can you just explain how? Because I understand how it works because you put me under regression therapy. Can you talk to us about how it works and why it's not a scary thing?
Not at all, because it's a very scientific thing, first of all. It's very logical and it's very scientific. It's not voodoo. Voodoo is because we've seen the stage shows and we think that there's mind control. That is another side of it. But the therapy part of hypnosis is for therapy. And what is hypnosis is a technique. It's a technique where we bypass our filter, our conscious mind filter, to access the subconscious. Basically, that is what it is. But in a different way, I can say that it's like a nervous sleep. There was a term that was coined by a gentleman called James Braid. He's the first person who actually, in the 19th century somewhere, he had coined this term that hypnosis, the whole meaning is like nervous sleep.
Yeah, okay.
And this has been derived from the Greek word hypnos.
Yes.
And what it does is, think about nervous sleep. How can sleep be nervous? Not possible. Because when you're asleep, you're very relaxed. Your mind is relaxed. You're asleep. And when you're nervous, you're hyper alert. Like you're hyper. You're not relaxed. So this is a technique where we allow the body to relax and the mind to be alert, like hyper alert, so that whatever is in that mind emerges.
Yeah. You're conscious the whole time.
You are aware.
Yeah, because you and I were having a conversation.
It's an interaction. There are people who relax the body and give suggestions also. That is also part of hypnotherapy.
Right.
But what we did was more regression in a way, because we were going back to the root cause of issues.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
So your mind is alert, your body is relaxed, but your mind is alert. In fact, more alert than necessary.
Yes.
Like right now we're sitting here, we are shut off from other things. But when you are in that altered state, you're hyper alert, and even the smallest sound, you will hear it. That's how alert. And that is because we are now shutting down that conscious mind.
Yeah.
As in silencing it. Because when the conscious mind is very awake, we are full time in chatter. So we are silencing that to now address the deeper mind.
Yeah.
Similar to, can you think of meditation when you sit very silent? Imagine how alert you are to we are more aware.
Yes.
That's how it is. We are hyper aware.
Yeah.
So that is the state where we can now address what is happening.
Yeah.
And true enough, people start feeling.
Yeah.
That's the whole key.
Yes.
So it's not a voodoo and
Yeah.
mumbo jumbo and a stigma or a taboo.
There's no tea that you have to drink.
No. And it's a very relaxed state. I
Yeah.
do not do pendulums. I do not have anything.
You don't have tea that
And
you're
you're
stirring.
not sleeping. Exactly. I'm not doing anything. And people have all sorts of ideas. But I understand where they're coming from because you've seen that outside.
Yes.
Right? Stage shows, stage hypnotists, they do all sorts of
Or
things.
people that steal from people in town.
Yeah,
I've had like
just
you
like,
touch somebody. Yeah.
There is a science to that as well,
Yeah.
but that is for mind control. Here it's not for mind control. And one of the biggest misconceptions people is, are you going to control your mind?
Yes. Yeah.
I do not control your mind. And in fact, with hypnotherapy, if you remember first time, I will always ask you, do I have your permission?
Yeah.
We are in collaboration. I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
And it's your mind, so you know it.
Right. Yeah.
So I am only guiding you. So hypnotherapy is not a very scary thing.
Yeah.
It's you accessing your deeper mind to address your
Yeah.
issues. That's all.
Do you ever meet people that are afraid of like letting go and
Yes.
be like just relaxing? Just
Yes.
when we did that exercise in class,
Yeah.
I couldn't let go
Yes.
with some of the people that I was practicing with,
Yeah.
but with you, because I had done it before, like it was easy for me to
Because the
let go.
trust is built.
Yeah.
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 So yes, in fact, if you remember in class, there was a topic we were talking about the laws of
Yes.
hypnotherapy, where I put somebody into a relaxed state and I was talking. They are hyper alert. They are listening to every word I'm saying. So what I wanted to experiment or show you was that even when you're in a relaxed state and there is person outside of you talking, you are hearing.
Yes.
You are not asleep and you're not gone somewhere else. It was to showcase that. And when they come out of that relaxation and I ask, they'll say, yeah, I heard you talking XYZ.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Yeah.
Hypnosis is something we experience even during our daily life. When we wake up in the morning, we are slightly in that in-between state, asleep and awake. We're not fully awake, we're not fully asleep. We're just kind of getting up. We are in that altered state. That's the kind of state. Or when we go to sleep, we're reading a book and we're kind of just shutting our eyes, but we're not fully asleep. We're reading, but we're in that altered in-between state. That's a state of hypnosis.
Yeah.
So we've already experienced that mild trance in everyday life. Think about how we're watching a movie or something, we're sitting on television. We're so focused and we've deleted everything in and around us, like literally. And then, have you noticed that when the emotional moment comes in a movie and we start crying? We are already in a trance.
Yeah.
Because we are identifying with
Yes.
something happening.
Ooh.
Something in us is coming out, right? That is hypnosis. It's not scary at all.
So on an everyday basis, we're being hypnotized without realizing.
How many adverts happen like that? Think about Coke. What are they working on our emotions? The pleasure factor. And
Right.
we know Coca-Cola is
Yes.
not good for health.
Yeah.
It is tasty. It is pleasant. It gives us pleasure. And we'll go for it. Even though we know that excessive
Right.
in moderation is okay. But when we indulge, that's what they're trying to do. Take more of you.
Yeah.
It's just a simple example. Not that Coca-Cola is bad.
Yeah.
But this is how advertisements happen. They catch your emotions.
Yeah.
So then our wants become needs. Mobile phones. So even if you don't need one, you want that one, and that becomes your need. So we are constantly hypnotized, and when we are in an altered state, and what creates that altered state a lot of times is how we are feeling in that moment.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to go back to something you said earlier about regression therapy or some, like for you, for example, you don't see but you feel. And I feel like I'm the same way. And maybe there are a lot of people that like are able to recall like images of like something that happened to them. That's not me. Is it the case that when you put somebody under you and you're doing regression, it puts them in the emotional state of the child. Are some people able to like remember? Because for me, like I couldn't remember. Like it's not like I have images flashing in my head, but I was able to access the emotional body and the emotional state, and that is how I was able to release.
It depends on how people are. I mean, sensitive. There are many people who are feeling people, like you said, and you know the feeling has come from somewhere. That much you know. But there are people who are so visual, they can immediately pick up. Yes. And sometimes I don't just jump into anything. It's their images that will create that story. But their images are so vivid, it's unbelievable. So it depends on your orientation. Some people hear things, some people feel, some people see. So, but again, the bottom line is we're addressing feelings.
Yes.
And feelings nobody can run away from.
Yeah.
We feel, we all feel.
Yeah.
If I ask where you feel in the body, it is there, if a feeling has emerged. Some people I've seen don't do anything but see colors. So then I use the colors to map. Because the colors also have a story. Colors are there for a reason. For example, they see red. And we know about the chakras, the energy vortices.
Yes.
And red is about root chakra. So there's an emotion attached to it. So then I will go from there. So there are many ways to address feelings.
Yeah.
Sometimes people say, I am just seeing blue. Blue is the throat chakra, and it is our own expression of ourselves or our own worthiness. So something's happening that has made the mind show that.
Yes.
Maybe not an image, maybe nothing else. But somewhere that will relate to something that has happened.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, our systems are so intelligent. It's just...
And chakras change. By the way, colors change. Once they start resolving emotions,
I had that.
Then the colors keep changing.
Yeah.
So it happens.
Yeah, I think I had that they do change, and I found that very interesting.
Yeah.
So if somebody's listening or watching us, but they feel so stuck, they don't know where to start, they just feel like stuck. That's how I felt when I came to you. You know, there are a lot of people that you're just stuck. You don't like your current reality. You just feel like nothing is moving, and maybe you have a job, maybe you don't have a job. However, whatever you're doing, but you feel stuck. You know, and that is the word that you use. Like, what would you say to them? How can they start to get out of that unstuckness? Because, you know, like you talk about, what keeps you stuck is the same patterns, the same thoughts, the same emotions, you know. How can somebody start to get out of that so they can take responsibility to like change their lives and change their reality?
Of course, therapy is good, and finding the right understanding of their patterns. But to start off with, in my therapy, I always address the here and now first.
Okay.
Like, where are you right now? That's the most gentle way of, just bringing that trust. Like, if I ask you, you came to me and you don't know, you have plenty of things to address. It's very difficult. So just starting, where are you at now? Maybe something's happening in this moment. And that much you know. But that story then unfolds when we understand where you are at now with your feelings.
Yes.
Like if you say it, for example, like, I'm just stuck. And starting from there, what is that stuckness? What do you feel stuck with?
Yes.
Whether it's relationships, whether it's work, whether it's yourself. What is it that keeps stuck? How does stuck feel? Like you can't move. And then unwinding it slowly. Can't happen with just one session, but obviously slowly peeling layer by layer. And then somebody understands, okay, this is what was happening.
Yeah.
And then understanding their feelings so that we can release. Clarity is the most important. The moment you get clarity, this is the reason, and there was an emotion attached to it, that when I felt this way, this is what happened. It's over and done with. You're not going to repeat that because you don't want to go back there.
Yeah.
So that's the whole thing.
Yeah, and I feel like, I think you had mentioned earlier that you're just afraid to open that box because sometimes you don't know what's in that box,
Correct.
you know, because I have friends that are like, I'm not gonna go there, but what they don't realize is that that's keeping them stuck, and they don't understand like on the other side of the box is a lot of freedom,
And light, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, no, why we are afraid, again, is our defense mechanism. It keeps us safe.
Mm-hmm.
Somewhere we are like, right now I'm okay.
Yes.
Don't worry about me. I'm
I'm
okay.
just gonna maintain
yeah, exactly.
yeah.
Because it's a scary place,
Mm-hmm.
and who's scared is not them. It's they've built that defense around them. It keeps them
Yes.
safe.
Mm-hmm.
On the other side is unsafety,
Mm-hmm.
something that has made them feel unsafe. That's the trauma they are trying to bury deep.
Yeah.
So it's not easy.
Yeah.
But when they take the courage,
Yeah.
that's the most liberating, because I believe that any therapist, whoever it is,
Mm-hmm.
creating that safe space
Mm-hmm.
helps a person open up.
Mm-hmm.
I've had people who come with resistance, and they have all sorts of dramas also.
Mm-hmm.
Like they'll come for one session, okay, didn't help me, don't come back. They book for another one, don't show up.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but you see, now once that mind has already gotten that inkling that it's time now to resolve it, something will push them.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, our subconscious mind is very powerful. It is our intuition. It's our own inner guide.
Mm-hmm.
And something, if has to be resolved or something has to come up, that guidance is already there. We don't know.
Yes.
But it is pushing us there. Have you ever noticed that? That, you know, I have had clients who come and say, I don't know, today I'm very miserable. I don't know why I've started my day. Maybe something's meant to come out.
Yes. Yes.
But
Yes.
they consciously don't know.
Yeah.
Unconsciously, something is already moving.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That
Yeah.
is so true. Like whenever I go through, I usually call it contrast, right? That's the word that I use. So like right now, I'm not going through contrast. You know, there's some weeks I'm not facing contrast. Other weeks I'm going through contrast. When I say contrast, I mean like this pain. I'm just sad, this pain. You know, and in the moment, sometimes in the beginning, I don't know what's coming up. But what I'm experiencing is pain.
Yeah.
Right? And in the past, I used to resist so much because I was afraid to face the pain. Right? But recently, I've learned to understand that this is just a temporary thing, and it's because there's a thing that I'm needing to release. That is why I'm going through this contrast, right?
Absolutely.
And at once I came to that space of that understanding, I think I freed myself so much, because whenever that contrast comes, I don't have resistance, the same resistance that I used to have before.
Completely.
Because that resistance used to just keep me stuck in the same pattern, same loop. Whereas like when that pain is coming, it's because it wants to leave the body and wants to be released.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So then the hold it has is not there already.
Yeah.
What we resist, then it will persist. But when we are in the flow, like, okay, you know, this is where I am in the contrast. Now when an experience comes that is only showing up with that contrast, we already know how to deal with it.
Yeah.
Then the strength it has, it's gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the way it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's no longer driving you, because
So
you know
when-
we have those things that are driving
Correct.
us.
And what brings resistance is fear, a lot of fear.
Yeah.
Sometimes we fear a lot.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. This is, we've been talking for like and I think we could go on and on
I know.
forever, but I don't want to keep this episode so long. But if somebody was listening to this, you know, and you know, they don't know how to take their power back and take responsibility, because I think it's so easy to be in the victim consciousness where things are happening to you, right? Or like even something happened to you as a child, right? Like it wasn't your fault, or some of it you inherited, even none of it is your fault, right? But taking responsibility requires you doing something about that, right? With power comes responsibility.
Absolutely.
So what can you tell somebody about taking their power back? What is the beauty of taking that power back and taking that responsibility?
Being responsible is the space we should be at. And it's not frightening, because this is your life. I understand that completely because I did take responsibility, but I was conflicted. Means, in a way, I was running away. But when I actually sat with myself and I said, it's okay, being kind and compassionate to myself, I felt powerful. I already am powerful. Now I'm taking that responsibility. You see, emotional stress is the first person we are beating up is ourselves.
Us.
So then responsibility becomes a burden.
Yeah.
But we are responsible for ourselves.
Yes.
Then who are we living for if not ourselves? So I would say, first of all is be loving, be kind and compassionate to ourselves.
Yeah.
Be with ourselves and then see how it feels to step into that power that this is my life.
Yeah.
It's so easy to, sort of have outbursts. It's so easy to go on emotional tangents. But it's not easy to come back to love and kindness.
Oh, those words, they always make me cry. Like the relationship, like I got so emotional as you were talking because like the relationship that you have with yourself is the most important relationship. And when you're not conscious of what you're saying to yourself, what you believe about yourself, that's when you point to other people. You're like, you're responsible for how I feel. Right? Of course, because you made me feel uncomfortable, but it's easy for me to just point at you. But when you bring that back to yourself and like when you cultivate that loving compassion, you're always there for yourself. Like it's every time somebody speaks about this, I really get.
And also understand that every experience or any person that's in your life that's giving you any emotional stress, they're only reflecting to you something you haven't resolved.
Yes.
So it's outside is a mirror. What is inside is more important.
Yeah.
And so again, how you say that we are responsible for ourselves only. This is our life. It's not other people's lives.
Yeah.
But we are conditioned the opposite
We're
way.
conditioned the opposite way to just look at the outside.
Yeah.
It's like going to the mirror and seeing a smudge on your face and trying to rub the mirror. Like,
You
I
can't.
want to clean and you're cleaning the mirror.
And all it becomes is
the
more
smudges
smudged.
on yourself.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's coming back home to ourselves.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's so important.
And so there are so many ways we're trying to do that. But one way I felt, and I've done so much in my life, I used to meditate, I've done Reiki, I've done pranic healing, I've done psychology, I've done just about everything. But it didn't return me to me.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes. Yes. And that is so...
Yeah.
And
All these paths are there.
Yeah.
It's to return you to you.
I resonate so deeply with that because in the last year, that is what I'm focusing on, the relationship. At any given moment, what am I feeling about myself? What am I thinking about myself, right? And if I'm in charge of that, then I'm not going to burst out, react to whatever somebody says,
Even if we are emotional, it's okay. We are. So then that emotion doesn't control us. The moment we beat ourselves and say, no, how could I have felt that? Then we're going down the emotional route.
Yeah.
But flowing with it and being aware is, it happened.
Yeah.
It's not running away. Like if you got angry, you got angry. Now what?
Yeah.
Because if you got angry unnecessarily, then you'll feel guilty. Oh my God, I shouldn't have done that. Now that guilt will fester.
Yeah.
So it's about flowing with it, be with it. It's okay. It happened.
Yes. Like there's nothing you can do about it.
You can do something about it if you know it happened.
Yeah.
Now you're not going to do it. So you're being more conscious of it.
Yes. If you're listening to us and you're watching us, I hope you're getting a glimpse of like why it's so important to do this work, why it's so important to address things on that deeper level, whether you're addressing like your emotions, you're addressing your subconscious, things on the subconscious level, because on the other side of it, right, on the other side of addressing all of the things that you're scared of, it's actually a lot of peace and freedom.
Complete freedom.
Yeah, I wish people knew that there's a lot of peace and freedom on the other side of the things that they're scared of. So Kinneri, if people are watching this, they're listening to this, and they are like, okay, like I'm ready to take that step. I'm ready to tackle my subconscious, unpack all of those things that have been blocking me. How can they find you? How can they work with you? Like, what can they do to take that step? Because I found you online. I was Googling hypnotherapist and like...
So I have a website, soulsanctuaryk.com.
Yes.
You can look at my website. I have an Instagram handle, Kinneri Parekh, and I have a Facebook page as well, Kinneri Parekh. You can have a look at my page, see what I do, how I help people, and I'm very happy to invite you all to do something about your life and find that freedom within.
I really do hope that I'm going to include her information in the description on Instagram, on YouTube, on Spotify, wherever you're watching this or listening to this, you'll find her information and you can just click on any of the links. I would highly recommend, because I had tried like other therapies. I had tried talk therapy, but I think I was already past talk therapy. Like I was like, yeah, this is not working for me. And I had tried other hypnotherapists, and it didn't work out. And then when I met Kinneri, I cried within the first minute. Do you remember this? I sat down. Like within the first minute, I just felt safe.
Yeah.
I felt safe. And I'm sure you can tell like the essence. I'm sure you can feel it. So I would really highly recommend, if you've been thinking about hypnotherapy, or like you've been trying other therapists and you don't understand why these things are not working, just try and see what happens. So I would highly recommend you reach out to her and see like how she can help you. Thank you, first of all, for coming.
And thank you so much for having me here.
Yeah, and it's been so wonderful to have a conversation with you. You have so much to share.
Thank you.
Yeah. If you've been watching us, give us a like, subscribe to our YouTube channel, comment, give us feedback. If there's something you want us to talk about, definitely give us feedback, give us comments. Rate our podcast on Apple and Spotify, and we will see you next time on the Art of Being podcast. We hope today's conversation resonated with you, brought you a sense of clarity, and maybe even challenged you to reflect further on your healing and spiritual journey.
If it touched something in you, would be so grateful if you left us a 5-star rating on Apple or Spotify. And if you're on YouTube, share your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear your reflections or suggestions for future topics.
You can find our socials and email in the episode description. We always love hearing from you. Until next time, take gentle care of your soul, mind, and body.